The 50 EMA breakout with the RSI filter is most definitely a solid trading strategy. Hi, this is Load with Black Bear Dog Trading, and today we're embarking on the advanced phase of this particular trading method. If you followed along thus far, then you should have the same screen layout that I have here in front of me. We have a 50 EMA setup at exponential based on close. You can choose whatever color you like. And we have an RSI setup with the three levels being the oversold at 30, the overbought at 70, and the baseline at 50. And we have the input set of the RSI period to, this is up to you to choose, 20 or 14. I have it currently set at 14. 14 produces a little bit faster signals, but also can give a little bit more noise. The advanced booklet that accompanies this video and that you can download in the link below will explain to you the difference between the 14 and the 20. So with this setup alone, if you've done this yesterday, you would have already had a really nice trade opportunity that materialized last night, midnight, my time. Look at this right here. Pretty good. And it is based exactly on what we had discussed in the beginners video, which is when RSI moves above the 50, price closes below or just at the 50 EMA. The next candle is a bear candle that closes above the 50 EMA. That little section is considered a breakout, and we would have entered an absolute buy signal. And this would have been the result of it. Not bad at all. So today we're going to go, however, before I jump into this, there is one minor drawback with having it sitting so tight right here, and that is that you don't always have the signal continuing. In some instances, as is evident right here, it went up a little bit, but then it reverted back down, and that is because we're sitting in what's called a consolidated market. So you're going to have quite a few of whipsaws and false signals, and with the advanced method, that's what we're going to avoid. So what we do next is that we're going to modify our RSI and include several buffer zones. We're going to include a buy buffer zone, a sell buffer zone, an overbought buffer zone, and a sold buffer zone. And to do that, simply go to modify the RSI, then go to levels. We already have these three levels that we had since yesterday. Now we click on add, type in 33, which is our low buffer zone. Click on add again twice. Now we type in 45, which is our sell entry buffer zone. Click on add twice. Now we add 55, which is our buy buffer zone. Now we click on add twice again. We add 67, which is our overbought buffer zone. Click on add once. Click on OK, and now you can see you have multiple lines here. Unfortunately, this is because of the colors being used by this default indicator, and you're not being able to set colors for each specific line. It gets a little blurry because they all blend into each other. So use a darker color and you can see a little better. In the Pro, once we head into the Pro, you don't need to worry about that. You can set colors to identify high zones, low zones, and what have you. So with these new zones set up, how would this work? Well, as I'd indicated a minute ago, the way it is in the beginner's phase is that it looks for a breakout, but the signal, whether the signal is strong or not, it doesn't verify it. And so you may have reversal patterns that will actually end up not being a buy position or a sell position, and instead really end up being a loss. And a prime example is right here. Price did close below the EMA. It then opened up above, it then closed above the EMA, scheduling or signaling a breakthrough. So under the original setup, the beginner setup, we would have entered a buy position. But this didn't go very far. And here you can tell by adding now a buffer zone of 5 pips above the baseline, we would not have gotten this signal. And because now the buffer zone, the 5 pip buffer zone above the baseline, RSI did not cross above it. So this is no buy opportunity. The same is on the downswing. Here in the same area right here, RSI did not dip below the 45, which is the baseline plus, minus 5 pips to identify the sell entry buffer or the sell buffer zone. And so this would not have been really a good entry position. And again, it's because we are sitting here in a consolidated pattern, and usually consolidation patterns are not very profitable to trade. They're more often than not successful. So that's also one reason, by the way, why I never trade consolidation patterns. I always look for actual breakouts up or down. So now, by adding these buffer zones, we have already reduced the noise level and the false signals we may get that are clearly there during the beginner's portion of this strategy. But we're taking it a step further, and that is what I call right here a high zone and a low zone. The reason for that is, and it's absolutely perfect what is happening today, we are here right now in the price was, RSI, excuse me, was right here in the high zone. The standard RSI will tell you if it goes above the 70 level, it's considered overbought. Start looking for a downturn and then possibly have an entry signal. Well, it doesn't work that way. Plus, this kind of trade is far too risky, and proof is in the pudding, as they say, because at this point, price was in the high zone, which is 70 minus 3 pips. And sure enough, when we look at it over here, this was not the place right here to enter a sell position, a buy position, excuse me, because that matches right around right here. We would have still had a small run. Okay, I'll agree, but we would have missed the absolute major portion of it. And almost always, once we hit an overbought zone, there are instances, obviously it happened today, that price will continue to move in the direction, but there's equally instances that price will reverse, and now you are stuck with a losing trade. So that's why we have zones. Another example right here, I have to unfortunately shrink it down a little or it won't fit on the chart, but I give you another prime example. I'll use the diagonal bar. See, we have to okay, here we go. If here we are above our price, RSI just moved above our buffer zone of 55 for buy. It matches exactly with this here. We enter and we just let it go and go. Now, had we entered at, while we're already sitting right here in the high zone, which we could have still entered, but look what happened first. It took a retracement. It actually went first down before it then went back up again and gave us this nice little sale. So to avoid this from happening, because basically you start back where you entered right here, we never take a trade when we're in the high zone or in the low zone. That's what these zones are for. So in the advanced version, we've now added high zone, low zone to prevent entering signals positions that may already range at the overbought or oversold edge, and possibly may have a retracement, and we wait for a little bit of a more solid signal by means of the buy entry zone and the sell entry zone that RSI must cross through before actually opening a buy or sell position. So this concludes the advanced portion of the 50 EMA breakout with RSI filter. Don't forget to download your advanced booklet. It's in the link in the description box below. And I also added another booklet called Fidelity Setup. If you downloaded yesterday's booklet, how you can prevent your investments from going totally whack during this very turbulent times that we are experiencing right now, then you would also like to know how you actually set this up. You may not be too familiar with Fidelity. You may just start investing, and so I don't want to overwhelm you having to try to figure this out on your own. So by all means, click on the link below. It's called Fidelity Setup, and it will give you step-by-step instructions on how you set up Fidelity so that it matches with what you learned in the booklet you downloaded yesterday. Yesterday. That is it for now, and in the next video we can hopefully start with the Pro edition or the Pro phase, and then it's really going to get exciting after that. So regardless, I'll see you in the next video. As always, take care and God bless.